Hello, guys. Hello, welcome to our third live stream. How are you doing today? Let me see if everything is working fine. I still don't trust this thing. This is the third time I do it, but every time I'm like, I bet I'm not live or something. Something has gone wrong. Can you guys hear me okay? I know that for some of you, it's quite early in the morning, probably 8 a.m. Well, for some of you, it's a bit later in the evening. I know in India, it's about 9:30 in the evening at the moment, but hopefully the night is young, right? We're all young here. And and you won't find this too late for the live streaming. It's really hard to find a time where everyone can make it. Obviously, I thought Saturday is a good day because for those who are attending this late, you've got Sunday to rest. But yeah. So let's get started. If you can't hear me or anything, just let me know in the comments. Yeah, but I'll get started. So today's live stream will be about writing better content than your competitors. Now, let me just say this. I'm not saying that this is the only way. I'm not saying that I'm right, that everyone else is wrong. But this is what I do. This is what I do. This is what works for me. And since I've created this group for those people who are not afraid to show their vulnerabilities, I was tired of all these gurus who always show how confident they are and all those things. We all have insecurities. And yeah, I lost my train of thoughts, guys. But I just wanted to put out there the process that I follow to in a way that it doesn't make me overthink and get my anxiety going, and it makes it simple for me. Okay. So what we will talk about, the importance of niching down, keyword research, and clustering your content to become an authority on the subject. What type of content to focus on with AI becoming more prominent. With ChatGPT, there's been chaos. And how to write better content than your competitors rather than copying what they do. And, it all starts with keyword research at the end of the day. Okay, niching down. Niching down is very important, and it's something that you should do before you plan your content. But you should never go too narrow, because going too narrow can then eventually make you run out of topics to talk about. For example, you could have a blog about gaming, but having a blog about just a PlayStation might be a bad idea, because you will find that at some point, oh gosh, what kind of keywords can I target? And then eventually, if you decide to sell your blog, it might be a bit hard, because they will say, okay, your blog is making money, but how can I make it make more money if you've run out of keywords? And another important thing of niching down is focusing on one niche will help you establish yourself as an authority in Google's eyes and rank your content faster. We all saw all these updates that have been rolled out recently, and how more than ever it is important to establish yourself as an authority. And then another thing, very important, writing on your blog will become much easier in 3 months down the line if you focus on one niche rather than having a broad blog. If I'm talking about consoles, okay, eventually when I'm targeting this keyword and I need to say, as part of these steps, you can try this other thing, and it's something that you've already covered before, you already know it. and writing will become faster, and it will just be much, much easier. Now, I've talked about keyword research before. I'll put the link in the comments of this video later today, because I've got some resources that I created on how to do keyword research, where you basically find keywords for which forums rank on page 1, and these are very, very easy keywords to target. So if you're working on your blog on your own and with a very low budget, you want to target keywords you can easily rank for without needing to write thousands of words or buying backlinks. Again, as I said, example, target keywords for which forums rank on page 1. Very important, again, don't pick individual keywords one by one and write about whatever keyword you find on the day. Otherwise, you will end up with tons of unrelated content that cannot be interlinked. So that is why you want to plan your content clustering in advance. You do your keyword research, you find a bunch of keywords, you find which ones are closely related to one another, so you can start writing your content in a way that you can interlink it. For example, at the start of your journey, you might want to pick, say, 5 topics and write 5 articles about each topic, so that in a few months' time, you can look at your Google Search Console data, see what topics Google really likes, what you're ranking well for, and then you can expand on that cluster. You know, whatever cluster is doing well, you just keep on doing whatever is working well for you, okay? Example of gaming topic clustering. So I've got 4 keywords here. As you can see, they're all quite closely related. They're all about PS4, about internet connection and all of that. So PS4 not asking for Wi-Fi passwords. So within this content, within this article, I may write, when this happens, you can try to connect your PS4 with an Ethernet cable, blah, 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 and link it to this other keyword, to this other article, PS4 not recognized Ethernet cable. If none of these steps above helped, and even your Wi-Fi is not showing on your PS4, try blah, 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 and you link it to this other keyword, and so on until, you know, PS4 internet keeps disconnecting. Sometimes your PS4 may not even ask for the Wi-Fi password, and you link it to the first keyword. Now, this is just obviously an example. Looks like I've deleted a slide by mistake. But what I wanted to say is this is just an example, okay? Obviously, you want to do your research. Don't just put keywords together and just start writing about them. As I said, look at what is ranking on page 1, look at what you can interlink, and just start writing your content like that. Now, in this example, it's all about PS4 and sort of like internet issues, but it could also be about just the PS4 in general. So you might talk about the PS4 controller having an issue, and the next article might be PS4 not connecting to the internet, but somehow you can interlink them, okay? Now, AI. Type of content to focus on in this AI dominated world. Again, you know, nobody can predict the future. I wish I could. But a lot of people are speculating that Google may eventually become like ChatGPT, where people ask a question and Google will summarize the answer based on the available content. This means users will no longer need to click on the SERP results and read our content to know the answer. Again, don't be scared by this. You know, nobody knows what's going to happen. I also saw someone saying about there would be some legal implications if Google started doing this. I don't know, honestly. But the best thing we can do right now is, first of all, remember that search engines are always evolving. probably when people were blogging 15 years ago and search engines started changing, they were scared. They eventually just adapted. And this is what we need to do. And right now, the best thing we can do is think outside of the box and write about subjects where an AI answer might not be enough. Okay, as an example, some ideas here. You could write content that contains data that always needs to be up to date. Example, new crypto coin, okay? Because currently AI is unable to answer questions related to recent data. At the moment, for example, ChatGPT, I think it goes up to 2021. Another thing you might be able to talk about without being too scared about what AI could do is troubleshooting guides that require the reader to go through a series of thorough how-to type of steps to solve their problems. If I cannot connect my PS4 to the Wi-Fi, getting a summarized answer of, oh, you can try and do this, 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 and this. If I am a techie, it might be enough. But if I'm someone who needs slightly more help, I will need a step-by-step guide and follow the steps for each thing to try and so on. So, this might be another thing that AI summarizing answers won't be able to do. Again, just, nobody can predict the future. And then target niches where people want to see personal experience. If I want to know what to expect when going on holiday in Spain, I want a human being to give me the answer, not AI. Or another thing, I don't particularly like these, but people click on these and go and read them. Articles such as, you won't believe what this celebrity looks like, type of content, which you would then use in parallel with social media to promote that content, and people will click and go on your content. So in that sense, you wouldn't rely on the search engine anymore. Okay, so another thing is, because we are at the start of all this, we might want to think about beating AI with velocity right now that we're still on time, because we have yet to see a drastic shift in search engines. So now is the time to produce more content and monetize. Best way to increase velocity, hire writers if you have the budget to do that, so you can pump out more content as soon as possible, and bulk publish using AI, as long as obviously you fact check your content. The last thing you want to do is have a health blog and tell people it's okay to drink rat poison to lose weight. In my example, I currently have 2 niche sites. One is the one that I've been talking about, and it's one where I write troubleshooting guides. So I do everything manually. And the other one is a health related blog that I started a year and a half ago. Then I dropped it to start the other one. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to use this other blog to do a bit more testing, to bulk publish using AI. So next week, I'm going to start using Ariel Phoenix bulk publishing framework. If you attended the first live stream, you would have seen the call that I had with Ariel talking about the method that she uses to post 20 to 30 blog posts a day. You can check it out. I'll put the link below the video once this is done. And when you use my link with the code NBN, you get 10% off, okay? Now, how to write better content? How do I do it? What kind of process do I follow? Again, I'm not saying my content is better than other people's content. I'm just saying, this is the thing that I do and that works for me. So in my case, looking at what my competitor does the following to me. It causes me to be a copycat because I'm just focusing on what they're doing. Oh, okay, if they're doing this, I need to do this because otherwise I won't rank. You know, it just causes all that confusion instead of concentrating on adding real value. Okay, so you'll end up having page one full of content that looks all the same. And honestly, it doubles the amount of work I need to do, because who says that my competitor is doing the research? They might be talking a lot of BS, and I need to go and fact check what they're doing. Okay, so I might as well go and find information from official user guides, YouTube videos, forums, and so on, so that I know that I'm getting the right information from the start, rather than, you know, getting myself in a state of, you know, doubling my work. So what I do instead is get information from products user guides, YouTube videos, forums, official product sites. Or for example, if you've got a health related site, you will want to go on you know, official websites such as there is the NHS in the UK, which is the National Health Service, or even websites like Healthline. There are big sites, they fact check their things. And once I've covered the answer to the main question, I think about what the reader may want to know next. For example, if I'm writing an article about PlayStation no longer turns on, if after troubleshooting, after following all these steps, your PlayStation is still not turning on, you might want to check if your PlayStation is still under warranty. Okay, so let's have a section about what the PlayStation warranty says, you know, what you can, what they will fix, at what point they will just replace the console for you, and so on. Okay, so anything, you know, cover your keyword first, but then if you can put other information that will help the user stay on your article rather than going to look for that information somewhere else, then that's really good. Then once I made sure I covered all the important things, I finally look at what my competitors did, but simply because I just want to make sure there isn't anything that I've missed, anything that I want to add that perhaps they've added. And I'm like, okay, no, actually, that's a good idea. I should cover that too. I do not worry about word count because I do my keyword research based on whether there are forums ranking for that keyword on page one, or there is thin content ranking on page one to start with. Thin content could be content, you know, a 500 words article when actually you could expand more than that. It could be the result from an answer on Amazon.com, or it could even be content that has been, it's just full of fluff for the sake of word count, but actually it's not quite answering the question the user is you know, looking for. So to summarize, step-by-step process, again, I'll share the link to these slides with you guys. Do your research, first of all. So keyword research, clustering, check what weaknesses you can spot on page one. For each keyword, look at the official sources, forums, videos, and so on. Grab a Word document, Google Docs, whatever you use, lay down the headers based on your research. So, you know, you're mentally prepared for what you need to cover, and then start answering each header individually. Once all possibilities are covered, think of what else the user may want to know. Again, the example, PS4 not turning on, warranty details. Make sure you use visuals to increase time on page and make it easier for users to read. So you may add some useful images. You can also embed videos, and that will actually make the user stay longer. And write attention grabbing title and intro. I'll talk about the intro in a minute. Regarding the title, it doesn't have to be anything, you know, but in this case, PS4 not turning on, you could say in brackets, 7 proven fixes. Okay. It tells the reader, you know, we've got the fixes, we've got 7 different things you can try. So read this guide because one of these will work for you. Okay. Nothing special, but it attracts their attention. Obviously optimized for search engines, but without keyword stuffing. You know, I'd rather use related keywords than just repeating the same keyword over and over again where it doesn't make sense. Okay. And then I've obviously edit, proofread, and find opportunities for more outbound linking if there is anything, you know, that might be useful to the reader, which is not covered in your article. For example, you may want to contact PlayStation 4, so you know you put the link to the PlayStation website. You may want to contact PlayStation or PlayStation 4, and other opportunities for internal linking. Okay. Now, first of all, let me see if you guys have any questions. What I want to do next is to just write something in front of you guys, just so that you get a better idea of the process. So let's see. John, you're always here during my live streams. I appreciate it. So video content is a game changer. Google has added it to Search Console recently. I'm working on creating video content to my workflow. Yes, and this is something I think I mentioned during my first live stream. I no longer target keywords that start with how to, because I've noticed that these type of keywords, Google seem to favor videos for it. Okay, so I just don't do it. So when I have to target something that is more like tech related, like this example of PS4 not turning on, I would rather target PS4 not turning on, PS4 not connecting to Wi-Fi rather than how to turn on the PS4, because chances are there will be a video ranking for it. Okay. So I've just realized something, guys. I wasn't sharing the screen, was I? I wasn't sharing the screen when going through the slides. Okay, no worries, but I'm a bit tired today. I had a very tough week at work, but I'll share the link with you. Now, let me just share my screen. So we can write something together. Now you can see my screen, can't you? My gosh, I'm so sorry. I am so sorry. Right. So I prepared this document. We're going to write a bit about PS4 controller not connecting. Now, I've got consoles at home, but I'm not an expert. I'm not an expert. So, you know, I can think of a couple of things that I could do in this case, but really I need to do some research. Okay. I'm not, let's do it sort of like in order as per what I said in the slides. Okay. So PS4 controller not connecting. So I'm Googling this and I want to find, first of all, we don't have a video on top. Okay, so that's great. I see another notification. How to be consistent. Yeah, I'll talk about it in a minute. First of all, there isn't a video at the top, which is good. Okay. We don't want to compete with the video. Let's go and look at some official sources. Okay, so PlayStation website. I'm going to open this. Let's see. What I could do is at the end of this keyword, I could add forum. PlayStation forum. Let's open that. You know, there are lots of forums here because I've added forum at the end of the keyword. So these are actually people who have experienced this issue and they've tried troubleshooting before. Okay. And, you know, this is a really good source of information. And once you get the individual piece of information, for example, let's go and see. Let's go and see. So one of the reasons may be that the controller doesn't have enough battery. Okay. So you start writing about that. What can you recommend regarding having enough battery? Okay. You know, how long you should charge the controller for to ensure that you always have enough battery and things like that. So you then go and find that piece of information, you include it under that header. So, okay. Let's see. So this could be a header. Ensure. So first of all, the thing that I do is after the intro is have that keyword again as a H2. For example, PS4 controller not connecting in a nutshell. Okay, because what I do here is write a short paragraph, 300 characters max, for a chance to get featured in the featured snippet. So in here, I will write your PS4. Okay, don't mind me making mistakes and all. Controller may not connect because reason 1, reason 2, reason 3. You know, obviously you make it flow. You don't just list the reasons. And then I tend to bold this part. Okay. Obviously it's not guaranteed that you're gonna end up in the feature snippet, but you know, you try what you can to grab as many clicks as you can, right? Now, the next thing, now that I've told the reader what the many reasons could be, how hot, what was I thinking? How to fix a PS4 controller that does not connect. Okay, this would be another H2. Okay, looks like because I'm using WordPad, I'm just going to say here, it doesn't look like it lets me choose, set up a header. Okay, and then, you know, little intro, little transition from that to the various H3s with their steps. There are many things you can try to solve the issues, so don't worry. I'm here to, you know, whatever, just something to I'm going to hold your hand, you know, be yourself, you know, let your personality go out. Sometimes I crack jokes in my blogs, who cares? You know, they make me laugh. I don't know if they make other people laugh. I'm going to hold your hand through each troubleshooting step, blah, blah, blah. You know, I'm just writing stuff right now. So number one, ensure the controller is charged. That would be an H3, okay? Right? Because it's part of, you know, how to fix the issue. So you want it as an H3 in this case. PS4 controllers, batteries tend to last, I don't know. I'm just, you know, giving a random number, you know, obviously do your research. 15 hours. But the performance they can last less than I can't even speak English today. Less than that if you have not fully charged the controller to start with. This is not how I write, guys. It's just I'm trying to think on the spot and I'm really tired. In fact, I just wrote guys. See, I'm not with it today. The controller to start with. To properly charge your PS4 controller, do the following. Step 1, step 2, you know, just give any kind of information that may be useful to ensure that that controller is fully charged. Okay. Once I'm done with that, you know, there will be the H3 for the next step, another H3 for the next step, and so on. Okay. And I know that this will vary because not all of you are writing troubleshooting guides, but, you know, it's more or less the structure would be the same. So if I'm talking about, can I, let's say a health related thing, can I get diabetes overnight? Okay. Again, same thing. But here, obviously, rather than answering how to fix your diabetes, you would say, can you get diabetes overnight? No, you can't. I don't know. No, you can't get diabetes overnight. But these may be the reasons why you feel this way, blah, 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 and so on. Okay, so H3, H3. Once you're done with that, you basically cover the main keyword, okay? You basically told them why this can happen. You basically told them what to do about it. So now it may be time to just go that little extra mile. As I said, the next H2 might be, what if the what if the steps above did not help? If the steps above did not help, you may want to consider take your console to an expert, or if the console is still under warranty, make sure you contact would it be contact PlayStation, contact Sony? I don't know. I'm just, you know, don't judge me. I'm writing without research. Contact PlayStation, and ask for assistance. Luckily, PS4s come with a 2-year warranty, which cover the following. And so on and so on. Okay. What else could you cover in this case? So you told them, you know, the best you can do if the steps above did not help, this is the best, you know, the next thing you can do. You might find some related question that you want to put as a, you know, an FAQ. But yeah, I literally don't worry about writing thousands and thousands of, well, not thousand and thousand, but like 2,000 words, because of the way I do my keyword research. And the way I do my keyword research allows me to focus on helping the user and think about covering the important things rather than just adding things for the sake of it. Conclusion, you know, you could just summarize what you said above. Very simple. It doesn't have to be, you know, anything special. Now, the reason why I left the intros as the last thing to write, now I'm used to my niche, so now I can easily write intros, but sometimes, you know, sometimes it can be difficult to write an intro if you don't quite know what you're going to talk about. So you might want to just leave it as the last thing to do. This way you don't get to, you know, paralyze in front of the screen because you don't know how to proceed. Okay. Intro, depending on the niche, you may want to be a bit more straightforward, or, you know, I see blogs about cooking where they tell you the story of their lives. Honestly, I find that a bit too much. Like, mate, I want to know how to cook that thing. I don't care what your husband did yesterday. But obviously there are, in this case, I cannot picture the person wanting to know, you know, the story of that person's life. I would honestly just write something like, is your PS4 controller not connecting? Don't worry. I have experienced this several times, and I have a few tricks that I can share with you to get your console back and running again. So very simple. I just reiterated again what the problem is. I'm saying, don't worry, I've gone through that before, so I know exactly what to do. And yeah, and then I tend to summarize what they will learn. This way, within the intro, they know exactly what to expect and whether this is the right blog post for them. Okay, in this post, you will learn all possible reasons why your PS4. You may want to vary, you know, may want to say PlayStation 4 sometimes. Okay, PlayStation 4 controller won't connect. Step by step steps to take to fix each issue, and so on. Okay, simple. Now, if this was to be, for example, a health blog, yeah, I can picture wanting to tell you a bit of your story. You know, it would fit into that, because if I'm asking again, can I get diabetes overnight? Then the intro, rather than being this cold, okay, this is quite cold, isn't it? You might want to say, last year, I woke up one morning suddenly feeling very thirsty, and you know, my head was spinning, blah blah blah. Again, you know, don't make it too long, but depending on your niche, one intro may be better than the other. Again, you know, you can test things. You might want to try 3 different type of intros, and with Google Analytics, in a few months' time, you may see that maybe there are certain blog posts that you wrote in a certain ways, and people tend to stay on them longer. Okay. But yeah, apologies, guys, for forgetting to share the screen earlier when I was going through these slides. Okay, but don't worry, I'll share them with you just like I did with all the other resources. Yeah, do you guys have any questions? Present, ma'am. Trevor, where do I recommend getting the research information from? Yeah, just from anything official. So again, PlayStation example could be a PlayStation forum, PlayStation site, a YouTube video where you actually see the person troubleshooting the issue. As I showed here, you can literally narrow down your keyword. Okay, so if you're writing a troubleshooting guide, you can narrow down your keywords so that you get a lot of information from forums. Now, when you're writing troubleshooting guides, forums are pretty good because you're getting information from people who had that issue and have tried different things. Okay, or you know, if you're writing something health related, again, can I get diabetes overnight? Again, I don't know what you guys have in the US in terms of like more official sites, but again, in the UK, we've got the NHS, which is the National Health Service. So I might want to get information from that side rather than, you know, some random blog where you don't know if the information is correct. So I might add NHS at the end, and there you go, diabetes, NHS. Or, you know, obviously once you're in your niche, once you've been in your niche for a bit, you kind of get used to what websites to look for the information in. Healthline is pretty good because I'm pretty sure, yeah, if you look here, it's medically reviewed. Yeah, so they don't just write things and, you know, they get them medically reviewed. So yeah, Trevor, try to get your information from reliable sources, because not only do you risk that by looking at what your competitor does, you just get, you know, eventually we're going to get page one having the same regurgitated info over and over. And how can you tell at that point, oh, my content should be ranking higher than yours, if you're not going the extra mile? Okay. If you get the information from a forum on Google, consider that as great content. I don't mean copy paste. Okay. Don't copy paste. Just read that piece of information, be like, oh, okay, so that's how you, that's a possibility. Okay, this is the reason why the PS4 controller doesn't connect. Okay, so how do you fix that? You just read the information and you just, you know, write it in your own words, so you're not copy pasting. Okay, so that's not scraped content. Bill missed the start, but definitely going to rewatch. Feature snippet. Thank you, Christina, for supporting the group, sharing your knowledge. Well, Bill, I don't know how much of the beginning you missed, but I'm not with it today. I forgot to share the slides, share my screen when I was presenting the slides. So really, you're just missing out on me, I don't know, me being a ghost. I don't know where my head is today. But yeah, if you, I'll just wait a few more seconds if you guys have any other questions. Otherwise, I'll just you know, drop the link to the slides in a minute in the comments, and then we close it here. Okay, Bill, I've seen people elsewhere talking about using unique images in each post. I started recently to edit stock photography, changing in some way and then adding a logo. Obviously, that's quite time consuming. Is it worth it? I have used stock images in the past. I never saw a big impact with that. But since all these latest updates, I haven't really tested whether it makes a difference. Okay, I am going to share this. I shared this once on Twitter and people didn't like it because they thought that was stealing. But I don't think it is. But say you're reviewing a product and not reviewing a product, you know, writing, as I said, PS4 troubleshooting guide, but you don't have a PS4. Go on eBay. Go on eBay, find someone who's selling a PlayStation 4 and grab that image, crop it, add a red circle, a red arrow, you know, whatever. And then with Canva, you know, you might have the image plus the writing saying PS4 not controller not connecting. I cannot picture a person who's trying to sell their PlayStation caring about the fact that I've used one image of something they're getting rid of to put it in my blog. Also, I was reading things like, for example, with YouTube videos, okay, if you were to take one single screenshot and then edit that image, it comes something like about fair usage. Okay, so you're not using the whole video, you're just using one screenshot. Obviously, you know, don't take screenshot of people, hands, just screenshot of the product, and that will be more of a unique image than a stock image. You know, edit it. Time consuming, you know, just to add a little arrow, a little circle, a little text. You know, if you're focusing on a particular topic and you do it with Canva, or you have to literally just replace the image with the next one and replace the text. Okay, so another thing that you can do if you're talking about something like PlayStation 4. At the end of the day, you're helping users with that particular product. Take a screenshot from an official PS4 PlayStation video. Again, it comes within fair usage, and you're talking about their product. You're not slagging off that product. You're just helping people out. I may be wrong, you know. I did some reading, and it says it comes with you know, there shouldn't be a problem with that. But there's still more unique images by doing it this way, as opposed to grabbing a picture from Pixabay and all of that, which everybody uses. But yeah, when I shared the eBay trick, I got people telling me, "Oh, you're stealing," blah, 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 blah. But I don't know. It's not the image from a professional photographer who is trying to make money from it, is it? It's just an image of a product that someone is going to sell. So interesting, the idea, yeah, regarding eBay. Yeah. Yeah, again, for each blog post, I don't exaggerate. Okay, so I might take, say I need 5 images within that content, I take them all from different sources, you know, to be extra safe and to vary things a bit and all that. Okay. Do you guys have any other questions? I think after this, I'm going to go for a walk because as I said, I've made so many mistakes today. That I think I don't think I've mentioned this, but I work in IT. In my day job, I'm a software tester. So I test a lot of software websites and things like that. And yeah, this past week was very, very busy, and the week before. So I'm literally like, I've ran out of brain power. So again, apologies, guys. Apologies for not sharing the slides, but I'll link them below the video now. Okay, guys, no more questions. So I'm gonna stop the live stream now. But obviously feel free to ask any other questions if they come to mind later. Whether you, thank you, Trevor, for being here. Feel free to ask any other questions under the video, or feel free to just post them in the group, and I shall answer as soon as I can, or anyone else in the community who've had that experience with that, you know, for that particular question you're asking, I'm sure they will be able to help. Anyway, guys, I wish you a very good day, evening, night, wherever you are, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.